Good evening. The hooves today in Sydney were on at Warwick Farm. On Sunday we had a meeting at Gosford. It was a good track at Gosford on Sunday. The rail was 3 metres out from the 1100 to the 1600, and it was normal for the rest of the way. The track, as I say, was good. The a very strong. Where did the wind come from? The wind came, was out of the northeast, but then it turned around to the southwest. By race 6, it was a fairly strong breeze for the last 3 races. The track played very fair, and the wind didn't really have any bearing on any of the results. It was a bit of a mixed bag at Gosford. There were only 2 runners that weren't really backed, although I laid one of them in the 4th race, Steal a Pipe. It went from about $10 out to $12, back into 11, back to 12. And the last winner, Slivovitz, it was extremely hard to lay in a race where there were quite a few runners backed, and it went from $4 out to $5.50 begging at the death, and you couldn't lay it. And it might have been a result for the captains. The other 6 races, every winner was found. There was nothing I'd really say to you that you should be backing next start or anything that was really unlucky. So that was about the meeting there at Gosford. Today at Warwick Farm, it was a funny day. The track was, the rail was 5 metres out from the well, it was 5 metres in the chute. Out in the chute, it was 5 metres out, but also from the 1,000 metres to the winning post, and it was 2 metres out the remainder. And there was a breeze during the day that the track was good. There was a breeze during the day that one stage from the northwest, another time from the northeast, but it went down to a very light breeze at one stage during the day, halfway through, where there was hardly any wind at all, and the wind had no effect on any results. And but up near the lead, it was most probably on the fence and leading. There's most certainly nothing wrong with that, as we saw by the last winner, and a couple of others getting through on the fence as well during the day and winning. So the up near the lead was most probably the place to be, and most certainly nothing wrong with the fence. In the first race, there was 104.3 on the screen in the marketplace, a good old marketplace. We naturally gave under the 100, 97, and this winner, it was poleaxe. You wouldn't see it in the flux, but $4.60 was given in the outer. I think there was $4.40 given on the fence. It did start, they returned at $2.80, which was a bit skinny. I was $3.20 when they jumped, paying the penalty, of course, and on a very, very fast pace, set by a spree lad and tried to cross at Sir John, who sweated up badly, Sir John, but generally does. This winner, Master Stroke, resuming from a spell today after a couple of trials, it never left the fence, and halfway up the straight, it got around the leader's heels, a spree lad, to beat it by half a length on the line. If it had to go around one other horse in the run, the winner, halfway up the straight, it most certainly doesn't get the chocolates, but that's what happened, and they knew $4.60 into $3 at one stage, back out to $3.20, as I say, at the death. All of the other runners got out of the market, especially Sir John, who went up $3 favourite, but it started $4.60, and it was extremely hard to lay. Race 2, on the screen, it said 109.4, but there was only 100 in the marketplace, and the Avery got the cash here. It's a bit easy in the market, backed at one stage. You could easily lay it at one stage of the betting, but then got out towards the finish. Talking about Catkins, it sat in 3rd position, looking at the leader. The leader was Capriosa, the bottom weight. It came across and went straight to the front, and Catkins sat in 3rd position outside Trick Shot, and it was $3 out to $3.50, back into $3.20 or 30, back to $3.50 towards the end of betting. And in a race where there was only 3.5 lengths between them when they hit the line, there were only 7 runners in the field field by the same token. It was able to win the Avery Catkins and hold off Misspoken, who came off its back, ridden by Jenny Duggan, who I think might have got a treble there today. Anyway, it was, as I say, back to one stage Catkins. There was only 100, it's 109.4, as I said on the screen, but only 100 in the marketplace. And one of the best back runners was Cervante. It started a clear second favourite at $4. $4.80 was given plenty of 460. It started only $4. Was held up slightly in the run, but had its chance. You wouldn't say it was unlucky. Run the race. Again, the margins were only 0.3 by 0.8. As I say, Misspoken running second, and third was the leader, Capriosa, who got off the fence in the straight. And run that race again, and you could easily get a different result. Race 3, I laid a lovely big wager here. I laid 28,000 to 8,000 about the top one, Burr Bauer, and it had every possible chance. It sat fourth on the fence, and it had, as I say, it copped a little bit of a check at the start, but that didn't have any effect on it. So I was glad it got beat. It was having its first start for the Snowden Camp today trade on the track. But there was one runner. It was very easy in the market. It went up $3 favourite, and it got to $4.60 when I laid it, and it, as I say, had its chance. But there was the starting favourite in the race was a runner trained by Waller, Marshall. It opened up $3.50, and it was poleaxed into $2.80. They took the 350, 40, 30, 20, 310, $3, $2.90, and it started $2.80. Very hard to get. Marshall most probably only started the 270. Settled well back in the field, and missed a kick slightly, and it hung out under a little bit of pressure, but it would have been, even taking into account missing the kick and hanging out, it wouldn't have won the race. So the plonk there went astray, and I did lay some good bets against it as well. But by the same token, the winner, Laughing, it was about the only other runner backed besides the favourite, and it was ridden by Jenny Duggan, and it opened up $7, about a 6-to-1 chance. Got out to $9, this runner, but it came into $8, hard to get towards the end of betting, and it sat outside the leader. Leading in the race was Slick Speed. It sat outside the lead, and when they crossed the line, there was only about 1.3 lengths between 6 runners in the race, and it hung out under pressure near the line, the winner, but it was still able to hold on and beat the leader by 0.8 of a length, as I said, who was Slick Speed. So besides the favourite being well backed, the winner most certainly was extremely well backed as well. The next race, did I tell you what we bet there? There was 110.5 on the screen, nice and fat, and in the marketplace we did actually get positive figures, 105. There were plenty of runners in that race that didn't have a name by the same token. In race 4, we had 104.7 on the screen, and in the marketplace only 102. And this race, unfortunately for me, was a disastrous result. I'm talking about Medusa's Miss. It started $2.60, hard to get favourite, opened up that price and got out to $3. Unfortunately, I laid 30,000 to 15,000 about this runner, and it got a smother in behind a nice solid pace set by Burner, who came across from barrier 10 to lead, and with Merciless 100-to-1 chance or 80-to-1 chance chasing it, and Jenny Duggan, when they came to the turn, she eased off heels, and coming more or less off its back was my chance. The very well backed Multi, coming from a campaign down in Victoria, having its first start in New South Wales for the Snowden Camp. to fail by 0.2 of a length was a huge difference to me. And unfortunately, Medusa's Miss got the cash. As I say, went up $2.60, got to $3, back into the $2.60 mark. Amarachi, it was backed. It had to get to $7.50 and $7 before it went up $4.60 out to 13 to 2, $7.50, back into about $6.50. Recoinage, it was extremely hard to play. It went from $4.40 to $6. Multi, it was backed $5 out to $5.50, back into $5. Very hard to get at the finish. There was a little bit of money for games. The next runner, 12 out to 20, back into 16. The next the two runners never had prices. Burner was $30 into $17, was backed, and the bottom three runners didn't have prices, although Fulminate $30 was bet, only started $26, but only for a token. The winner was a strip out for me, and I would say for other captains as well. Race 5, we on the screen it said 104.1. In the marketplace there was a skinny 97%, and winning this race was very well backed. Another very bad result for me, Toffler. It went up $3.50. Bookies quickly reached for it to $4.20. It only started $3.20. It was 5 to 2 to 13 to 4, back into 9 to 4, and going straight to the lead was Laura Tech, who I did lay 7,500 to 300 at one stage. It did start $30. It was the natural leader in this race, stepping up to the mile. It has plenty of pace. It led, and ridden by proper Peter Rober, Toffler, the winner. It looked at the leader all the way, and when they turned for home, he made his run and timed his run to perfection, and was able to get a break and hold off, coming off his back on the fence. The second favourite, Been a Long Road, who was a bit easy in the betting, $4 out to $5.50, back into 5, but it was $5.50 again at the death, and it failed to, as I say, it had a charm run from barrier 2 along the fence, and coming off its back, it failed to run it down by 0.8 of a length, and after missing the kick from barrier 1, centre to more. So it shows you that the fence was most probably, with average horses, if you're saving ground on the fence, the place to be today. If you got trapped wide in the run, it was no good at all. And Centre to More had barrier 1 and missed a kick from barrier 1, as I say, and but then was able to get midfield, actually on the back of the second horse, Been a Long Road, sliding through on the fence and getting off their heels, and only went down by 1 length. The margin's 0.8 by 0.1. So I suppose if it might have come out and held the position behind the leader, there's a chance that it might have even won Centre to More. It would have been a great result for me if it would have. As I say, there was only 97% given. There was one runner extremely well backed in this race besides the favourite, and that was the resuming Old Bill. $21 given in the outside ring, but plenty of $17 on the fence, and it did start only $10. So if it was 20s into or $21 into 9 to 1, 20s into 9s, $20 into $10. There was a little bit of money for a couple of other runners here and there, but the figures were poor, and the favourite was absolutely the pros with the pros with the boys. They had the ones who got all the cash. They had 2 or 3 lovely large plates of the winner. Race 6, there was 105.3 on the screen and only a neat 100 in the marketplace, and this was a huge result for the captains. The winner was King Utah, $16 or $17 out to $21 King Utah, and it was able to get a run on the fence behind the favourite, Cure Claim, and when they got to about the 1,000-metre mark, Hugh Bowman, Horseman Bowman, eased off the fence on Cure Claim and got on the back of the second favourite, Blazing Dragon, and when he did that, of course, the winner, King Utah, took his position, And when they turned for home, leading in the race was Set of Rocks. It started to drop off, and on its outside was Blazing Dragon. Hooking 3 wide around them was the favourite Cool Claim, and getting in between the leader and the and also Blazing Dragon was the winner, saving every inch of ground, King Utah. I wonder if Huey would have stayed where he was on Q. It's easy now, of course, on Cool Claim, whether he would have been able to get the same run and win. Maybe, we won't know. The margins, when they hit the line, there was only 1.5 lengths between 4 runners, 0.8 by 1.2 by 1.5 to the 4th horse, who was the 3rd pick, Dream Worker. Now the betting, as I say, it was a huge result for the captains, because Cool Claim, it went up $2.30, got to $2.70 in the outer, but $2.60 on the fence, and at one stage was into $2.25. Well, that was its SP. It was at one stage 270 into 230, back to 240, but started 225. And Blazing Dragon, it went up 260 second pick. It was quickly reached $4 to $3, and at one stage it was into 270. You couldn't get 280 on one board, but it started $3. So if you caught them right, you could easily lay the both of them. And the 3rd pick, it was Dreamworker, and it was $8.50 was given in the outside ring, which you wouldn't give it C in the flux, but it went from $6 out to $8.50, back into $7, even $6.50. It's hard to get. So if you happen to catch number one, say at 11 to 8 is 42, and the other one at say 290 is 35. What's that? 77, whatever it is, and the other one at say at 13 to 2 or sevens, another 12. Whatever, they laid you short odds on picking it in 3, and they bookies, the captains got the split, with King Utah getting the cash. And then we came to the last, and on the screen it said 109.8, and in the marketplace there was only, well, at least 10 less. I counted only 98. For instance, I noticed one runner here, number 7, Lucano, was returned $17. Well, I was $31, and it was also $31 on another board, at least on the fence when they jumped. Nearly doubled its price, and it didn't have a name. It went from $15 to $31. I haven't put its name in the ledger yet. The best backed runner in this race, well, first of all, winning the race and very well backed, I think giving Jenny Duggan a winning treble, was a Real Prince, who went fairly ordinary last night at Canterbury, but it opened up, I dare say, $9 was given in the outside ring. There was plenty of $7 and even $8 I saw on the fence, but plenty of 7. And at one stage it was into $5.50. I was $6.50 when they jumped, and it was able to cross from barrier 11 and go straight to the lead, and it won by 2.5 lengths. Extremely well backed, and extremely an extremely good win. Other runners in the market, Morocco. If you went off the top odds about the runners were in the market, you were a shot duck. You had no chance of escaping. Morocco, there was plenty of $7 given out Morocco, and it only started $4.20, $7, $6.50, $6, $5.50, $5, $4.80, $4.60 they took, started $4.20, and it settled well back in the field, a little bit wide at one stage, but Horseman Bowman said even though it copped a little bit of a prat in the run, it was very disappointing. The opening favourite in the race, which I haven't laid yet, I was desperate to lay it, was the Snowden trained Astuta. It opened up $3, and I was $4.60 when they jumped, desperately trying to lay it. It sat outside, or sat second or third, maybe in between runners, looking at the lead, and had every possible chance, Astuta, and it went as its price its price fluctuations in the marketplace suggested. There was most probably, even though it's got to be 2.5 lengths, we'll never know, but should have had one, the second horse. I'm talking about In Excess. It settled well back in between runners in the run. It was resuming today, coming off a couple of trials, ridden by proper Peter Roble. It was very easy in the betting. It only went up $4, but got to $6.50, which was taken towards the end of betting back into $6. As I say, the figures were skinny. I didn't give the $6.50. I haven't even given. I gave $6. It would have been a big result for me, and it was held up in the run and fairly badly, which everybody saw, and it should have finished a lot closer. In Excess. And going back to another race, talking about a very unlucky runner, which I didn't mention, but of course you couldn't have missed its run, and that was in the third race, a runner called Phantom Willie. The stewards said that it was checked at the start. It pulled a bit on its rider. Horseman Bowman rode it, and it was held up turning for home, and the entire length of the straight it went to the line more or less untested. It finished up running. Where did it run? It finished 3, 4. It finished up running fifth, this runner, and with any luck, it most probably would have won easily. As I say, which everybody in the world did see, and it was very easy in the betting. It only went up a 9 to 2, $5.50 chance, but it was $9 begging at the death. As I said before, that was the race where Marshall started favourite and was extremely well backed. Well, that was about the meeting. Nothing else really to say. The Who's tomorrow are on at Hawkesbury, so see what I can say there, if anything. And if you do have a bet tomorrow, good luck.